Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Good morning, and it is a good morning, man. I don't know if you guys watched the videos I uploaded last night. Are we live, by the way? Yep, no, yeah, we're live. Just tested it. So I don't know if you guys watched the videos I uploaded last night. I did the Mets game and the Dodgers game, but I'm recording the videos. There's still a few games on, and in the videos, I'm like, guys, it's going to be a losing Friday night, and I'm like all sad. While I was recording, Royals came back and won. Cardinals ended up winning and covering the -1.5, and then the Astros Angels under hit. So I was all like sad in the videos, and then by the time I finished recording, I was actually up about 1.8 units. So had a nice turn, a nice little 180 spin there. Really started the weekend off properly. That's back-to-back winning days for me. I'm feeling good. We got Scoop here. Everyone is just really pumped about these MLS picks. Everyone's talking about it. It's the talk of the town. You got a lot of... Did your MLS picks do well last week? I don't even remember.
No. They were down like 2 units. I did hit the Real Madrid bet. That was good, but yeah, no, it was pretty bad.
You did hit the Real Madrid. Right, I actually remember. Yeah. So it's a bounce back spot.
Bounce back. Yeah, only four today. Only 4 games.
So that means we can isolate some value. So
I'm gonna go 4-0. So
that's what I'm trying to hear. First up, we got New England versus the Red Bulls, which is your favorite team, right?
It is. Yeah. So I mean, New England surprised me last week, beating Nashville 2-1. I still think they're an awful team, though. They've only won one at home in their last 8. I'm gonna go with the Red Bull, even with their shaky away record. I mean, they won 3 of their last 10 away games. They're a solid team in terms of expected goals on output on the road. They're 4th. This should be on the lower scoring side, I think. I know the last game I think was 4-2 at Red Bull, but I don't see a lot of goals here. New England just doesn't have the talent to win back-to-back games if you watch them play. I know the Red Bull aren't a possession type of club. They build up for a perfect play from set pieces, which is one of the best in the league. But the only issue I see for the Red Bull is some of their players got called up for international duty, like Tolkien and Forsberg, because it's international break for the MLS. So these two, like I said, these two played a month ago, but the Red Bull's missing some of their shot creators, especially from the left side. So this game actually opened up at Red Bull -105. It's all the way down to +180, +170 because their roster is coming a little thin. But still, I don't see the New England doing enough here. But just to be safe, I'm going to take the Red Bull on the draw line. So basically +100. That means if it's a draw, you get your money back. So it's like no bets.
So Red Bulls at +100. Do not. What does that mean again?
The draw no bet line. So
draw
basically,
no bet line. Right.
So if it's 1-1 tie game, you just get your money back. It's void. But if you want, you can put it on the money line at 170. But that's if you draw, you lose. It's a 3-way money line. So,
all right, let's move on to the second game. Are you sure that's not a homer pick, bro?
No, I don't think New England's terrible.
No, I don't think so. He says. He goes, no, I don't think so.
Who, Beaver?
Yeah. No, I'm saying your answer. Is that a homer pick?
Nah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Which means yes.
Nah, I don't think so.
Next game up is Minnesota Dallas. FC Dallas. I don't know the name of the Minnesota team. I'm sure it's something spectacular though.
Yeah, it's Minnesota United FC, so it's not like anything different.
It's a couple.
If you're confused about what a team is, just call it FC because it's normally just an FC in there. Yeah. So basically, like last game, I think this game's hard to predict. Minnesota has 9 players out. They're on international duty, so this is the bad part of MLS is because they're playing when no other leagues play. So when they get called up to international duty, everyone goes. So, like, people are going to a couple people in Canada, a couple people in the African World Cup qualifying. So, So Minnesota's 9 players out on international duty, which is absurd. FC Dallas has 9. So FC Dallas has 1. You can tell which team has the better players from that pretty much aspect alone. But yeah, Minnesota's missing a ton of starters. Oluwasi is one of their best strikers. He'll be gone. Their starting goalkeeper, St. Clair's out. Arriaga, the right fullback. Carlos Harvey, one of their center mids. Yeah, I think with these players missing, FC Dallas, as awful as they are, they have a real shot at this game. This game also started minus 150 from Minnesota, and the reason why these are starting so low or, such high money line totals is because they didn't know who was going on break until now. So, yeah, FC Dallas had the one away game this season, but the games haven't been far out of reach. 1-0 to LAFC, 1-1 against Houston, 2-1 against Colorado State, 2-1 Colorado State. Wow. I'm in college football. I'm in college football mode right now. So I was actually doing college football before this.
Talking Rams? Want to talk Rams?
2-1 Austin, 2-1 Red Bull. They're not getting blown out in any of these games. So since they're having pretty much the same lineup as last week, I think the cohesion's going to be here. I think they can get their first win. Minnesota's going to have 5 new players in their starting 11 this game. I think it's going to take some time to gel. I think it's worth taking a flyer on Dallas, but I'm not psychotic. I'm not taking the 210 because I think this game could end in a draw like the last one. So plus 140 is pretty good value for Dallas right now.
Another DNBL, which is draw no bet. So
DNBL, baby.
Just hammering the DNBLs today.
DNBLs.
All right. Next game, please, Prop Beaver. Oh, you already did it. Sporting KC. Sporting Kansas City is up against who the hell is that?
It's the Seattle Sounders.
Oh, the Sounders. Yeah, I love me some Sounders ball.
Good Sounders ball.
So plus 165, plus 155. Basically a pick 'em here. Are we going back to another DNBL?
No, we're not. Kansas City hasn't won a game in over 2 months. But this team scores goals. Only 2 of their 16 games, they failed to score a goal. In their last 5, the over 2.5 has hit every time. And throughout the whole season, they've hit over 2.5, the last 12 of the 16. So their defense also constantly gives up a ton of goals. In 10 of the last 16, they've given up 2 or more. The season hasn't been a huge scoring season for Seattle, but they're definitely capable of doing it. They've scored in 10 of their last 16 games themselves, and with how bad Kansas City's defense is, I can see a game like they had against Philly where they netted 3 or Montreal where they had 5. Listen, KC's getting goals. They've had 24 goals on the season. They're expected to get 15, so they're scoring whether it looks good or not. And, though Seattle has a tough defense, playing away could be a struggle, but gaps are going to be here on both sides. So I love the over 2.5 goals in this game, so I'm going to hammer that.
All right, so the over 2.5 at minus 120. So expecting a lack of defense here in the
Darren, don't trash the MLS, bro.
Yeah,
all right?
Probably mute that guy. He's been commenting for 3 years. He absolutely sucks in every way.
I was actually joking, but that's
oh
fine.
no, that dude completely. We've exposed that guy as being a complete moron like 100 times. So yeah, hit the dots next to his name and hide user from channel. Thank you, sir. All right, is that the last one, or we got one more?
There's one more.
We got St. Louis versus Portland. Ooh, we taking a plus 320 shot here?
Actually, I wanted to, but no, I can't do it. Yeah, this line's a little iffy. St. Louis has managed to capture just 3 wins out of the last 19 matches. They lead the league in draws. They're not a bad team at all. They just can't seem to put anyone away. So the books think this is going to be a high scoring one since it's set at 3.5. But this St. Louis team should have beaten Miami last week. They led 3 times. They couldn't put it away. They drew again. So that's been pretty much their MO all season. The books thinks this is going to be like I said, the books is going to be a high game because St. Louis does have the ability to score goals. But Portland gives up the second most in the West this year. They're a shit defensive team. I think this is a time to back St. Louis. They're home. Portland's 2-2-5 on the road. The 2 Brazilians on their team, Klaus and Cilia, can move the ball around. They're capable scorers. I definitely see them getting space here against a very leaky Portland defense. So the money lines, I think it's at minus 160, or now it's minus 145. So that doesn't really do much for me. So with it being a high-scoring game, I'm going to do St. Louis and over to 2.5 goals as a parlay, and I think that should pay out at 120.
So St. Louis money line, and you're parlaying it with over 2.5. Now, so I see you tease the total down to 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that come out to be about odds wise? Oh, you have it on the screen, plus 120.
Plus 120.
And you think this is a sneaky move?
Sneaky move.
I don't know. I kind of like Portland. Put up Portland for me. Probably. Do we even have a Portland graphic? Actually,
Put up Portland. I doubt you have a Portland Timbers graphic.
Yeah, we don't have a Portland graphic.
But look at that axe. Look how fucking cool that is.
That is kind of cool. Prop Fever. Oh shit. All right. So, thanks, Scoop. And by the way, Scoop and Andy are coming back. They're just not on during baseball.
I'm coming back. I'll be here for college football, baby.
Yeah, college football. Scoop and Andy. They're waiting on the bench right now.
I miss the banter with Andy and yourself, but you're easy to fuck around with. So
yeah, Scoop and Andy will be back in the fall. We'll probably start doing some college football season previews in like mid-August, a couple weeks before the season. So they'll both be back. This is their off season.
Yeah, I already have over and unders for some games. So for totals for the season. So I'm pretty excited.
There we go. All right, let's skip over to some MLB. Scoop, talk to you later.
See ya.
Oh, looks like we're still waiting. We got 4 minutes. Want to run a WNBA poll? All right, let's run a here comes Toast now. But let's run a WNBA poll because we got 4 minutes. What do you mean? You don't have to add him yet. Just to run a WNBA poll. Toast can wait 2 minutes. He doesn't mind. He's probably just waking up. All right, so we'll just run a WNBA poll real quick. Obviously, I don't have anything to add for it, but let's see what the community thinks. I know there's a lot of people that watch that have been making money on WNBA. So let's see what if you were somebody that handicaps WNBA, share your picks in the comments. Maybe some people want a tail. Well, that's exact. Well, actually, I just realized they can't hear you. But what Toast said is, it blows my mind how people make money in the WNBA and then lose one night and be like, I can't do this. And it's a lot of it. Same thing happens in baseball a lot. In baseball, you have to be a fan of the sport also, in my opinion, because if you have a couple losing nights in a row and you're not a fan of the sport, it's going to be really easy to get discouraged. And you'll get a lot of people that aren't baseball fans that get into betting baseball and they make money a few days and they're like, I love this. And then they have a couple losing days and they're like, baseball sucks. When does football start? So you see a lot of that. Personally, I love betting baseball. They're both here. Let's go to the MLB. Polls on Liberty. Oh, someone likes the Connecticut Sun. Daniel Cap. Connecticut Sun. Liberty team total under. Helms is on the Liberty money line. Is that the whale lock, Helms? Did Helms give his whale lock yet today? Yeah, I don't want a dolphin or or a porpoise lock. I want the whale lock, Helms.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in. I'm too far away.
Don't be wasting our time, Helms.
Helms giving out dolphin locks. So Silverback Bets is here. Toast is here. It's MLB time. I have a lot of bets open, but I actually forget,
dude,
because we were. So I posted 7 bets last night. So we're gonna go through them. But me and Prop People were scrambling to get the graphics ready because we have UFC after this, by the way. So we're doing MLB and then UFC. So we were scrambling to get the show ready, and it's 7 minutes before it starts. And I open up my MLB bets, and I was like, shit, I don't even remember the reasons why I bet 4 or 5 of these. So I'm sure that it'll come to me.
I got 9 bets out already, and I might add for me. I'll be adding at least one more because one line wasn't available, and I have 2 more that I just bet. So
let's get into it. And Prop Beaver, go ahead and throw up the New York Metropolitans money line under my face. And look, by no means is this me saying, "Oh, the Mets are the better team and they're going to go out and beat the shit out of the Phillies." But at plus 147, I got it at plus 138. Oh no, I got it at plus 140. I'm sorry, I got it at plus 140. And at this number, just there's a lot of circumstances that make this game really 50-50. Number one, the Phillies haven't been hitting. Last 2 weeks, Phillies are a bottom 6, bottom 7 lineup. They're always been a little bit worse against lefties on the season, but they're not really hitting the last. As far as getting to lefty starters, they're getting to some. They've also been blanked by a few, including Manaya. Pitched really well against the Phillies recently. We're in this weird ballpark where we recently saw a 17-13 game. I just feel like there's so many circumstances here where that makes this game really hard to predict, where it makes it feel really coin flippy. So why not take the plus 140, then plus 145? Also, Ranger Suarez left his last start, took a line drive to the hand. Now, I'm pretty sure he's okay, but is it crazy to think that overseas Ranger Suarez just doesn't look himself today? I think that's completely justifiable, especially against a Mets lineup that's absolutely smashing lefties. So it's just worth a shot at the price. That's all. I'm on the Mets.
Couldn't agree more. A couple things to add. As Pete Alonso said, jet lag is a myth. Don't have to worry about that with the Mets because they're just mentally better right now. No, I'm that's a joke, but dead seriously, I really like the way that the Mets have approached this situation in London. Not to mention the fact that yes, Ranger Suarez is a lefty, but from May 24th on, the Mets have seen 6 left-handed pitchers. That's a lot. Like for Major League Baseball, that's a lot. So I think they're going to be more than comfortable seeing a lefty here today. And like Kyle said, Ranger Suarez left early last night. They asked Rob Thompson yesterday what to expect from Ranger today. And he said, if he just goes out there and pitches well and it doesn't get hurt, then I think consider that a win. So I don't even know how long we can expect Ranger Suarez today, to be dead honest with you guys. But I felt the same way with the Mets. I knew I was going to be betting the Mets if they had a lefty on the mound because of the situation of the 6 guys that they've seen over the last 2.5 weeks or whatever. So, yeah. And if you guys worried about that ballpark, it is a little bit different. But if our friends at Ballpark Pal, it's green all across the board, plus 31%. There's doubles, alleys. There should be a lot of runs here today as well. I will say that the totals only went from 9.5 to 10. So I don't really know about that, but
still 9.5's open too.
Yeah. So I still played the over as well. I do this with all these international games. Most of them tend to go over. But yeah, I'm not going to pound the table for the over, but I think that the Mets at that price is absolutely ridiculous.
Now, I think Silverback Bets used Phillies money line in a parlay with Ranger Suarez, right?
It did, and I'm going to come out swinging. First of all, nice to be back with you guys, Toast and Kyle. Appreciate the Vine guys. Your viewers, thanks for having me back today. And I'm just coming out swinging, man. I'm going to parlay, with due respect to your picks, and I understand the reasoning. I think Suarez is fine. I do. I know I bet him a lot this season. I think as a World Series contender, I don't think they'd run him out there if he wasn't 100% today. I truly believe that. 4.5 strikeouts. It opened up at minus 125 last night, and that's where I got it. I'm parlaying that with the Phillies money line, and I did the research for your viewers. Your best value right now is FanDuel plus 141 at the time of my research early this morning. But I know the Mets have hit lefties better, okay, as of recent. But if you look at the Mets, the way that the Mets have gone against good hitting teams, okay, and again, they've won 5 of 7 after getting swept by the Dodgers, but against what I consider to be good hitting teams, that being Kansas City, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philadelphia, they're 7-21. Suarez is coming in with a 28.5% K rate over in 9-12 games. Now, he only struck the Mets out 3 times when he faced them in 5 innings of work the first time, but I think he's a consummate professional. I truly do. I think he's healthy. I think that Harper and Suarez are meatheads, primetime players, and I think when the lights are bright in this game, I like the Phillies and I like Suarez to get the Mets for 5 times for that plus value.
And I actually agree that I think Ranger Suarez is fine also.
Yeah.
I threw it out there, and he did leave the last game with an injury, but I agree with you that they wouldn't be pitching him if he wasn't fine. And he took a line drive. X-ray was negative, so I don't even know how serious that would. They might have even taken him out as a precautionary thing. I don't even think there's anything to that. So I agree with that part. So Silverback Bets is on a Phillies money line with Suarez over 4.5. Me and Toast taking a shot with the Mets. Toast is on the over. Prop Beaver, let's move along to the next game, please.
Did you see the Mets numbers on the road, Sauce? 14, 30 full season. There's not one crooked number. It's ones all the way across the board.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I did a video on it, so I probably did look at the number. They're just not coming to my head right now when I'm thinking about it. So next up is Twins Pirates, and shamefully, I'm holding a Twins ticket.
You did it again?
I did it again.
What's the number? Because that's one of the ones
I got it at minus 118.
Okay. Still,
I don't know what it's at now. Let me look.
It's still minus 118 on FanDuel.
So this is, guys, I don't think you should tail me on this. For full disclosure. Well, okay, so I don't think Woods Richardson is bad. I mean, he doesn't really go
Nor
deep into. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's great, but he doesn't go deep into games. But if you look at his game logs, he's been okay. And this Pirates lineup just can't hit right-handed pitching. Yeah, they scored, 3 runs yesterday? They had 4 hits. They had 4 hits yesterday. I mean, the Twins, they had 8 base runners and scored 0 runs against Mitch Keller. So they were even producing. Just couldn't get the runs across. That's a 160 whip, because I don't know exactly how many innings. So if you look at, what was it?
The point is made.
9 hits to, I actually want to see exactly what it was. So I don't want to speculate. I got it right here. Sorry. So yesterday, the Pirates won 3-0, 8 hits to 4. The Pirates had 4 hits. So the reason I played the Twins yesterday is I was like, the Pirates lineup can't score. The Pirates offense can't produce. And I was kind of right about that. They only had 4 hits, but they still managed to get the win because the Twins are embarrassing. Twins bullpen is rested. Dude, it's disgusting. I don't know if you should tail me on this one. I'm holding the Twins ticket. I don't think they lose back-to-back games to the Pirates. I think Woods Richardson is able to give you 5 good innings, and I don't think the Pirates are going to score more than 2 runs, which should result in a Twins win. I got it close to a pick 'em. They're the better team. Screw it. I'm square as hell. Maybe I'm an idiot.
God damn it. All right. I'm in. I was already had it circled. No, the problem is that I thought it was going down. Couple things here. Couple things on this game. I'm starting to slowly put myself into a position that, are the Pirates a playoff team?
I'm
not going to go.
I don't know.
I'm not going to go deep into it right now. I'm not going to go deep into it right now. Catch the next episode of Plate Coverage if you want to do that. But I am dead serious when I say at plus 450, the Pirates are live in the Major League Baseball playoffs. Why? 3 words: pitching, pitching, and pitching. So if they are starting to turn the corner and you're going to get your 3 studs pitching well, including Keller, Jones, and Mr. Paul Skeens, that's a legit 1-2-3. That has nothing to do with this game. My point being, though, is that I'm not at a point where my point to all that is I'm not at a point where I'm going to be fading Pittsburgh on a daily basis like I thought I would be here coming up or a couple weeks ago. But I will say SWR has been really good for the Twins. They have everybody in their bullpen that they would need. Not to mention, if you take a look at the Pittsburgh bullpen, it is taxed among Bolivian. It's not even funny. Pull it up. Bender 3 of the last 4 days. Holderman 3 of the last 4 days. Chapman 3 of the last 4 days as well. This is a Minnesota spot. Whether they get it done or not is another question. But at minus 118, I feel you. I didn't bet it last night because I thought that I didn't know what the number was going to be. But yeah, I'm good right now. I'm with you.
So, Silverback, I don't know what your thoughts are on this game. Prop Beaver's in the comments saying the Pirates are better during the day. Don't know if there's any facts to that, but
yeah, that's kind of with the day-night thing. I understand, and Prop Beaver's great with statistics, but that's almost kind of like saying, you're more likely to get in a car accident if you drive a blue car, so your insurance rates go up when you drive a blue car. There's to me, there's so many variables when it comes to Pirates and day games. How many have they played? And again, there's so many variables in terms of pitching. Who the starting pitching is, who they're facing, and I know. So last time I came on, and I had a lot of K props. I only hit 30% of those. I did pretty well with the Nerfies, and I know that your viewers are like, Silverback, enough with the K props, right? But that's kind of my thing, Kyle. I hit 60% in the season with K props, and like Toast, I like the plus money bets. I believe that I can hit 50% of plus money bets and hence be profitable. Okay, so and kind of piggyback on what you and Toast said a little bit, I really like Woods Richardson. I really do. He doesn't give up runs. Okay, he's only given up more than 1 run once his last 5 games. Once. And he doesn't go deep, but he can. He's coming off a 6 strikeout game against Houston with a healthy lineup. And we know Houston doesn't strike out. He got them. They're the best in the league at that. He got them 6 times, and they only started going to the phone for the bullpen once he started getting hit a little bit. Okay, so I see a line sitting at over 4.5 strikeouts for plus 105 here. Okay, and I'm looking at a Pittsburgh team like you mentioned, Kyle, can't hit right-handed pitching. Third worst in the last 30 days striking out to righties. 5th worst on the season striking out to righties. 2nd worst the last 30 days in ratio of walks to strikeouts, which means they're not walking, they're not driving the pitch count up, but they're striking out. And I got Woods Richardson. If you watch him pitch, and as a former pitcher, I know the comments are going to make fun of me for saying that. As a former pitcher, I study this stuff, brother. I look at this stuff. I watch this stuff. I record these pitchers. He's not clocking high 90s. He's not even clocking mid 90s, but he hits the corners. He's got weird junk that MLB hitters get caught off guard with. And I think for anything plus money, I would have played this to minus 105. I took it for plus 105. I think for plus money against these Pirates that can hit righties, against this kid that I like that can stay in there for 5 innings, I'm all over the plus money over 4.5 strikeouts.
I like Woods Richardson too. So let's go Twins. Hopefully the Pirates put up a 0 on the scoreboard today.
Is Beaver on O'Neal Cruz? That's Beaver. If you're in the comments, tell me if you're playing O'Neal Cruz.
He's not betting shit today, he said.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's go to the next game. Braves, Nats.
I love you, Beaver.
No, last night wasn't bad though. You split.
I was gonna say I thought he was green.
I think I don't know if he was green. He was split. So depending on the plus money, he would have been green. But yeah, Braves, Nats is up next. This is a really tough one. I said I was leaning Nats yesterday. I didn't bet it. Wish I did. But in this one, I personally think the Braves. It's tough because the Braves haven't really been hitting lefty starters, and the Nats just hammered Charlie Morton. So there's just too many extenuating circumstances here. This is a pass for me.
Yeah, it's a pass for me too.
Silverback Bets, you have the floor.
I have a play here, boys. I have a play, and it's not open on my card, but it's something that I wanted to give reviewers something to digest and think about. And if I had to go here, I would go Nats money line first 5 at plus 105. Okay. Interesting matchup here. Interesting pitching matchup with Gore and Morton. We kind of have, Gore's younger than people think. He wears a hat, kind of like a dad coaches Little League or T-ball. He's got the box, looks like a helicopter pilot kind of. He goes out there. He doesn't look that young, but he's young. He was a rookie in 2022. I think he's 24 years old. Morton's a veteran. Okay. Now, they faced Morton on May 27th, and they lit him up 8 runs on 12 hits in 5 innings. The Nats pounded Chad Morton. Conversely, Gore has faced the Braves. He faced them on, I have the date. I can't find it. 529. Thank you, Toast. I appreciate that. He faced them on 529. 2 runs, 6 hits, 5.1 innings. Struck him out 10 times. 10 times. Braves lineup's a little different. You're going to see some different pitches without Acuna. Hidden leadoff. I trust Gore here. And he drives you nuts because he's up and down, right? I mean, he drives you crazy. And he doesn't always do what he's supposed to do. There's no pattern to his strikeouts. He's getting the A's for 8. He's getting the Braves for 10, and then he's getting the Reds 1. You know what I mean? He's hard to predict. But in this matchup with the history admittedly, it's a brief history this season with these two. I just think the Nats have had the Braves number. They've beat them 4 out of 5 games this season, and I'm mad at myself. The money line yesterday was plus 176 when I wanted to hop on it, and I didn't hop on it. I'm kicking myself. I trust Gore against the Braves without Acuna more than I trust Morton in the first 5 before the bullpens come in. Give me the Nats for plus money on the first 5.
And to support what your bet here are the game logs for the last few lefty starters to pitch against the Braves. Mitchell Parker, 7 innings, 2 runs. J.P. Sears went 7 innings. He let up 4 runs, but he went 7 innings, which means it's a good start. Only 8 base runners there. Mackenzie Gore pitched well against the Braves. Mitchell Parker again pitched pretty well against them. So Braves haven't really been getting to righty starters. So at plus 100, and like I said, the Nats just crushed Charlie Morton. So if they get some,
the Nats are an interesting team, and last year I didn't mean to interrupt you, Toast. But last year we had this narrative that the Nats and the Nats and Diamondbacks just don't strike out. But that's a little different this year. But the Nats have been hitting better than Diamondbacks have. They're an interesting team, man. The Nats are very interesting. They don't have a lot of star power, but they play what I call Tony La Russa baseball. They play a lot of small ball. They're bunting. They're driving the ball the opposite way, moving batters from first to third. I kind of like what they're doing.
And I think Toast was signaling to put an
under.
Got it. I don't know what was going on. I got a little nervous.
I didn't know what he was doing either.
And slightly excited.
I was looking. I'm just trying to figure out, give him something. And the fact that Charlie Morton just got lit up and the Nats are terrible with anything that has to do with spin, curveballs, changeup, cutters. The only thing they do is hit a sinker, which is a version of a fastball. I expect Charlie Morton to pitch well here today. Mackenzie Gore does his thing. Mackenzie Gore always pitches well, it seems like. So I go under 8.5. All the bullpens are good to go as well. So, yeah, I go under 8.5 if you had to bet it.
All right. Prop Beaver, want to move us along to the next game, please, sir?
God, the Braves suck.
Giants, Rangers. And I'm willing to admit when I was wrong.
I also will say I will not admit I was wrong in Seattle.
You were definitely wrong.
Oh, I wasn't. I'm not admitting anything.
Well, that's your own prerogative. You were wrong, whether you want to admit it.
You know what? That Toast, in your defense, that was a weird game, man. That was a sharp bet.
An 8-0 game is weird? Yeah, I will agree with you.
The Mariners were a sharp bet because the public was all over Kansas City plus.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, it was a sharp bet, man. But it was weird.
Okay.
They got Castillo up there today. We're not doing that game right now, but it'll be a good game.
Yeah, they're going to lose again.
All right, Giants, Rangers, and so I don't have a bet on this game, but the reason is it's not that like, I don't like it, couldn't find an angle. I actually didn't realize Spencer Howard was pitching. In fact, I'm still not even 100% sure that he's pitching. Is it Spencer Howard? It is? So, as you guys know, I went 4-2 last night. The Rangers were one of my losses. I liked that bet, too. Completely wrong. In fact, they lost 5-2. They were kind of lucky to even get 2. That was kind of a weird circumstance in that it was like in the 4th inning when they scored those 2 runs. They really should have got shut out last night. So, Rangers didn't show up against Logan Webb. Sure, Spencer Howard's a little bit different than Logan Webb, but I can't trust him. I guess I'd say under or pass, but I didn't bet this one. You can put an under graphic up for me, Prop Beaver, if you want, but I got nothing in this game.
I'll be going right back to the Giants. Giants money line at plus. I'm just waiting for it to plus 120. Like I said, guys, I feel like this Giants team is going to start to go on a little bit of a run here. That whole speech thing ended up working out pretty well for me yesterday. I look, baseball is a game of runs. Everybody knows that. I mean, you can be hot for a week. You can be cold for a week. It is what it is. It's a long season. Again, I am not trying to make a case that the Giants are a good baseball team. I'm not even trying to make a case that Spencer Howard is a good pitcher. He's been lit up his last couple starts. 4 innings against Baltimore, 3 1/3 against the White Sox. But he had a road start against the Angels. He was decent. I don't trust this Texas team. I think they're kind of dead in the water right now. I think they're searching for a lot of things. This Texas team is 6-4 their last 10, but like I keep on pounding the table, last 20, last 30, they're way below 500. This Texas team is not that good. I trust San Francisco against lefties more than I do righties. Andrew Heaney's coming off a shutout. He's more than willing to give up a couple runs here today. I am sure of that. Not to mention Andrew Heaney doesn't pitch very long going into games. His previous starts up to the 6th inning one, 3 innings, 5. I think this is a Giants spot. The Giants have everybody rested and available in their bullpen. Duvall and Rogers went yesterday, but they had the previous 3 or 4 days off. Giants up.
So for those of you that missed yesterday's show, Toast was talking about how the Giants manager called him out, gave him some kind of pep talk, and I was making fun of him for it. He said he's going to play. He said, I'm playing the Giants, and if they win, I'm going to keep playing them. So maybe there's something to that, even though I did make fun of him for it.
Well, I would make fun if I said it, or if you said it, I would have made fun of you. So
he's like, they called him out. It's like, oh, okay, they called him out. Silverback, what do you think?
Thank you so much.
Someone in the comments said Silverback looks like a part-time bounty hunter.
I saw that.
which is super funny. Full-time bounty hunter wouldn't have been as funny But part-time super funny. It's like, what else can I do to make money? I'll catch some motherfuckers. That's what I'll do. That's super funny, dude. I appreciate that, man. I might have to consider my whole cachet here, baby. I might have to change my swag up a bit.
Right, get into the industry, the bounty hunting industry.
I love it. All right, I digress. So when I did my work this morning, Kyle, they didn't have a starting pitcher listed for San Francisco, and I don't want to give your viewers ill-advised bets here. I don't want to give them good bets without proper information. Like you yesterday, I was on the main Rangers money line. One day, I do one thing I do with my members. I do a dog of the day, and yesterday I was with you on the Rangers. I had them as the underdog for plus money. Should have followed Toast there on the Giants. The Rangers are frustrating. The Rangers stink. I thought at home they would have beat them. They wouldn't, not knowing who the Giants pitcher was. I had nothing there to offer in terms of line or money line here. I did look at Haney's props. There's nothing I like for the prices offered. So I'm a pass on this game.
Yeah, it's a pass for me too. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Blue Jays, Oakland. Toast, did you see what I did on this one? Toronto,
no.
Oakland. I laid the juice. Ooh. I laid
1.5.
So yeah, we're in agreement here. But you can put up Toronto money line for me. I put 1.25 units on it. So I bet this pretty heavy. Laid the juice with the Toronto money line. I got a minus 154. Pretty simple here. Oakland can't really hit, but at home they're able to show up sometimes. But in reality, you got Gausman, who's been really good on the road, pitching against Oakland, and the A's bullpen is pretty taxed, which is the strength of their team. Mason Miller and that guy, I think his name's Adams. That's the strength of the Oakland team. Miller, I would almost guarantee isn't available because they don't overuse him.
100%.
Yeah, they don't overuse him. He's pitched 2 of the last 3, including last night. So Miller's not going to pitch. I don't think Adams will pitch either.
100% no.
So in that case, you take out Miller and Adams from the back end of that Oakland bullpen, and you just removed 60% of what I like about Oakland. And what's left,
you take away 2 All-Stars and put them and add it, and you add him. You take away 2 All-Stars and you have Danny Jimenez and Scott Alexander doing the work.
Exactly. And so you take away what I like about this Oakland team, and you got Gausman, who's been dealing on the road. The reason I didn't lay the minus 1.5 in Toast is I don't have a lot of faith in Toronto's lineup. But in Toast defense, if the Blue Jays are able to get 3 across, they probably cover. I think Oakland's going to really struggle to score runs in this game. And without the back end of the bullpen, Jays should be able to get this done coming off the loss. So I laid the juice. I'm on Toronto money line pretty heavy here.
Yeah, frustrating day for me yesterday, just because I don't feel like my reads were wrong. I thought that Bassett was going to come in and deal, and 1 or 2 runs would win us the game, and sure as shit, it just was exactly what happened. It just didn't go the other way. Yep. So again, we talked about betting baseball. It's just can be frustrating at times, but I went right back to Toronto here, as hard as it may be. Just really quickly, Kevin Gausman's last 3 starts, and before I say the teams, if you're going to say, well, those teams suck, keep in mind Oakland sucks too. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run against Chicago. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts against Detroit. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 0 runs against Washington. Those are Kevin Gausman's last 3 home starts. Toronto saw Medina twice last year. They have some familiarity with him, not to mention the fact he's went back-to-back starts, only giving up 1 run, going 5 2/3 in 6 innings. I think that Toronto, as gross as it and weird as it is to say, I think that they probably get a few off of him today. Gausman should cruise. They should win this game 4-1, 5-1 pretty easily. I wouldn't mind an under here either.
I'm with it. Silverback Bets. What are your thoughts on Gausman? I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Gausman before. You like him? Can you hear me?
Silverback, can you hear me?
A little bit of freeze here. Yeah, a little bit of freeze here, Kyle.
Oh, shit.
Is that better? You guys good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go. So, one thing that I love to bet, and here's that, and I know you have one thing I like about your viewers is they're an educated betting audience, and so they understand the importance of pricing. Okay, I have what's called the POP method: probability, opportunity, and price. That something's going to happen, right? And we have a 24-cent discount here. Now, Pinnacle is the sharpest sporting book. I think you guys would agree with that. Pinnacle is maybe the sharpest sporting book in the world. So we have a big discrepancy here. They have Gausman over 6.5 strikeouts at minus 112. DraftKings has it at plus 112. So a 24-cent difference within the betting world is huge. Okay, it's absolutely huge. So plus 112, Kevin Gausman. And Kevin Gausman is very interesting because he was last year's, not MLB because Spencer Strider, but AL's strikeout champion. And he had surgery and he hasn't been the same yet. I understand that. And we keep waiting for him to come back and beat Kevin Gausman from last year. But I think that he's been a better. Toast gave the numbers for him as a strikeout, or as a pitcher in general. But he's been a better strikeout pitcher, Kyle, than people have given him credit for. We're looking for the huge numbers of 8s, 9s, and 10s. But let me just walk you through what he's been doing. Again, we're waiting for those big ones. But we saw him get the Yankees for 6. We saw him get the Dodgers for 5. We saw him with back-to-back 6 strikeouts, Minnesota, Tampa Bay. Then we saw him get the Tigers for 10. Okay. Now we have Oakland, right? They're a strikeout factory against righties. Oakland strikes out a ton against right-handed pitching. Dead worst in MLB the last 30 days, 27.4% of the time. Second worst on the season. So there's not a change there. And one thing I look for, is there a change? Like in the last 30, are they here? But over the season, are they there, right? Are the lineups changing? Are they figuring some stuff up? No. They're dead worst or they're second worst throughout the entire season. Gausman's a smart veteran pitcher. The A's are a young lineup that strike out a ton. I'm all over. This is 1.25 units for me. Gausman over 6.5 Ks. Give it to me. Pinnacle thinks it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen too.
By the way, completely agree with you that I'm on the Blue Jays, but I'm backing Gausman too. His last 2 road starts, by the way, 6 innings, 1 run in Chicago against the White Sox, 6 innings, 1 run at Detroit. Before that, 5 1/3 shutout innings on the road in Washington. His last 3 road starts, he's been absolutely untouchable, and those are against bad lineups. But like Toast said, so is Oakland. So I'm back.
His arm's getting healthy. It's getting healthy.
Yep, let's go. So I'm on the Jays. So it looks like we all are back in the Jays in some way, shape, or form. Next game,
what could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So the next game's Milwaukee, Detroit. I passed on this
one.
one.
I'm mad at myself for not betting Milwaukee yesterday, just because Reese doesn't win.
Yeah, true. But I mean, he doesn't get shelled like that either. That was a little weird.
That's true. But the regression monster was starting to come grab him sooner or later.
What's the Brewers' money line? Is it minus 160, 165? See, that's way too juicy. I think Milwaukee's win. We're going to win, but that's way too juicy, and I wouldn't do the 1.5. But yeah, so I love Freddie Peralta in this spot. Over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 125 is what I got it for in FanDuel. And let me just walk you through why. Over 9 of his 12 starts, hasn't been under 5 strikeouts once this season. Not once. Now, he's had bad games, but he always finds ways to strike batters out. Okay, hasn't been under 5 strikeouts once. 11.9 Ks per 9 innings. Detroit doesn't scare me. So here's the thing about, and then this is what I like about this matchup in terms of strikeouts. Detroit, 24.2% strikeout rate to right-handed pitchers on the season. 23.5 last 30 games. So there's no surprises here. We know how much essentially they're going to strike out against righties. And same thing with Peralta. He's going to be between 5 and 9 every time he pitches. So to me, it's not going to be guesswork. Okay. I need him to go 6 innings, and I think he will. If he goes 6 innings, he's probably getting 8 strikeouts. I like him a lot at over 6.5 for minus 125.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. Probably you could put Milwaukee minus 1.5 up for me, but I didn't bet it. I do think that Casey Mize will eventually come around, but recently he's been so bad. But it's not. This wouldn't really be a fade of Casey Mize as much as it is a fade of the Detroit Bats, which seem to be just dying before our eyes. On the last 7 days, they're the second worst lineup in baseball. They're 29th in WRC+. They're one of the worst lineup in baseball against right-handed pitching. The last 9 righty starters to pitch against the Tigers have an 0.92 whip. So like they are just not getting guys on base against righty starters.
I attribute some of that to Carpenter coming out of the lineup, because you know, when you take someone out of the middle, now you're 2 and 4 hitters. If you're batting 3, you're seeing a little different pitches,
Yeah, maybe that's it. Whatever the reason is, the production just isn't there. We're talking about, I'm just looking at game logs of righty starters. They're not getting to anybody. They couldn't touch Cooper Criswell, Dane Dunning. You name it. They couldn't get to him. So I expect Freddie Peralta to deal. I'm not going to lay the 1.5, but That's the way I'd go here.
Yeah, I completely disagree. I don't in any way, shape, or form trust Freddie Peralta as far as Beaver could throw him. I don't know what you guys are looking at. I don't know what you guys are seeing. Dude's been terrible for a while, and then he had 3 mediocre starts against the Fish, the White Sox, and the Cubs. I mean, those offenses are just deadly. Murderer's row right there. So, again, not that Detroit is some murderer's row offense either, but I'm in no way. There's just no way in hell I could lay juice with Freddie Peralta starting in this game. So Milwaukee is the better team. There's no question. I'm not trying to make a case that Detroit's the better team, but yeah, there's just no way in hell I laid that heavy juice with Freddie Peralta right now. I would actually kind of lean Detroit at the number at home. They've been a little bit better at home. They were coming home from a road trip yesterday or last game. I can understand the lack of bats, but yeah, there's just no way in hell I lay that price with Freddie Peralta.
Freddie's got 3 good starts in a row, though.
I mentioned, congratulations, Miami, White Sox, Cubs, murderer's row. So if you lay the juice, baby.
And Detroit's been awesome.
Yeah, Detroit sucks.
You want me to repeat
this guy's?
The whole thing? I literally just said that. Those 3 teams suck, and Detroit's not.
I
understand that. The whole thing over.
Well, take it easy, sweetie. Take it easy. Do you want to take my action on Peralta over 6.5 Ks for $100?
No, I could.
Viewers, you want that? Viewers, I'm challenging Toast to take my action for $100 Peralta over strikeouts because he just shit all over my back
in 10 years and doesn't plan.
You don't want to do it, all right? You don't want to? Okay, all right.
Let's do
So you don't. So everything you just said about Peralta, you won't back it.
No.
Okay, that makes sense. This guy.
I don't have a bet on this game, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
I'm just saying, Freddie Peralta's not good.
He's better than Mize. All right. Seattle on the road at Kansas City. Royals at home at plus money again.
100%.
No, I didn't bet it this time.
I'm betting them.
You're betting the Royals?
Yeah.
I mean, their bats at home are just a different animal. The Royals are just such a different lineup at home. They're one of the, I think they're top 3 lineup in the MLB at home. I didn't bet this one. I guess it would be Royals or pass, but I got the Royals at plus money yesterday. Part of me doesn't want to push my luck, but dude, you can put up Royals for me, Prop Beaver. It'd be Royals or pass.
Shout out Ralph Michaels. Nice little stat out here. Since 2004, only 6 teams have scored 7+ runs in the first inning and lost, like Seattle. The previous 5 teams went 0-5. That's not the only reason I'm making this bet, but it sure as hell hopes. I talk a lot about momentum in Major League Baseball, and I feel like that when we talk about getting the air let out of the balloon right there, what we saw last night was the definition of that right there. So am I a fan of Alec Marsh? No, not really. But what I will say is that he hasn't looked good against the Padres and Minnesota, 2 teams that offensively, I understand, don't perform always well, but I would worry about those 2 offenses a lot more than I would worry about Seattle's offense. And Alex Mark didn't look good. I think that he can pitch well here today against Seattle. He went on the road at Seattle, went 5 innings, gave up 5 innings, 5 hits, and 2 runs, struck out 7 guys, only walked 1. I think that he can pitch well today. He pitched well at home against Toronto. He pitched well at home against Baltimore as well. Castillo, I mean, is definition of average kind of as well. I mean, he's had looked really bad to start the year. He's looked really good at the beginning of the year, or now at this part of the year. The Royals have seen him a lot in the last couple of years. I mean, since 2023, they've seen him at least 3 times. The 1 start at home against the Royals, great. The 1 start on the road against the Royals, not good at all. But regardless, you have a Seattle bullpen that's absolutely taxed to oblivion. No Munoz, no Stanek. Saucedo went yesterday. Thornton went yesterday as well. And you have a KC team that I'll give you, their bullpen's fine, and I'll give you that it's not nearly as strong. But the KC bats are 10 times better than what Seattle is giving us right now. When Seattle wins games, they win games 4-2, 3-4. I just don't expect them to put up a whole bunch of runs here today again. So, I'm more than happy to take the Royals at plus money at home.
Yeah, you could put up Royals for me too, but I am not taking it. It's Royals or pass. I have 7 bets open. This is not one of them. Royals at home, one of the best home teams, one of the best home lineups at plus money. Same reason for yesterday. Silverback?
I think I heard Toast say that Luis Castillo is a definition of average.
Yeah, you heard me say that.
Well, all right. This guy's funny. The definition of average, huh, Luis Castillo? Do you think the Mariners have a good starting five?
Yeah, and I think he's number 3 or 4 on the list.
He was chosen to be their opener because their manager's quoted as saying he's the best we have.
Sweet. I disagree.
Average. We disagree with the Seattle Mariners manager, who probably knows more than we
disagree with Scott Service. I disagree with Scott Service.
I don't know how we got to that position, though. They should hire you. All right, so I'm on Alec.
Don't get along.
I'm on Alec Marsh here, okay? Over 5.5 strikeouts for plus 110. 7 Ks in 3 of his last 4 games before he ran to the buzzsaw of non-striking out. That's the San Diego Padres. Again, I know the Padres haven't been good, but they just don't strike out that much at all. Averaging 5.8 strikeouts over his last 5 games, and we all know the numbers, guys, on the Seattle Mariners in terms of striking out. Dead worst on the season striking out the righties, 28.1%. Last 30, still second worst, 26.8%. They don't walk, so the pitch count stays down. You know, I've talked about that many times. I like the pitch count down, so, you know, they're not walking, pitch count staying down. I think Marsh for plus, again, we talked about Toast likes it, I like it. The plus money bets, I like Marsh over 5.5 for plus 110.
Yeah, Royals are passed for me. Next game, please. Baltimore, Tampa, and I went right back to this. You can go ahead, slap that over right up there. I got it at 7.5 last night. Is it still at 7.5?
No,
it's gone, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually at 8.5. No, it's still at 8, so it's not terrible.
I paid minus 120 for the 7.5.
There you go.
So it probably didn't even move that much at all.
No, same difference then, yeah.
Let me go find it. Yeah, do you actually? I still see a minus 125 7.5 open on ESPN bet, so you can pretty much still get the same bet. So I'm on the over again. Taj Bradley, he's been okay, I guess, but Baltimore's bats, one of the best lineups of baseball against righties, one of the best lineups of baseball on the road. Baltimore's a team where as long as you like the spot for them, you can pretty much count them to score runs on whoever. And then the other side, Kyle Bradish pitched against Tampa. The Rays bats coming to life a little bit. Let me pull up my my matchup here.
Are you like a closet Rays fan? It sounds like it a little bit.
They're coming to life, man. Well, I mean, they did just see him a week ago. They got 7 hits and 5 runs off him in 2 2/3 innings. They did just
I
see
agree.
him. But also, I'm not the hugest Kyle Bradish fan to begin with, even though he's actually been really good on the road. So I mean, again, I same thing I said yesterday. I took the over yesterday. I said the total was too low. They got beat, over hit. I think the total's too low again. And also, I believe, let me pull it up to make sure, but I believe Baltimore used pretty much all of their main bullpen arms.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Kimbrel, 2 of the last 3. Cano, 2 of the last 3. Webb, 2 of the last 3. I'm not saying they won't be available, but the Rays did just see these guys. I'm sure Cano probably won't pitch after throwing 26.
There's no way Kimbrel and Cano are available. They don't have the arms to worry. They can't test. They can't worry about that.
So, yeah, I hit the over yesterday, going right back to it today. Either you guys?
I'm over as well. I was gonna go first 5 over 4.5 because it was plus money. But you can slap either one over. Both hit yesterday as well. Just for the record, everybody, I know that everybody loves Baltimore, but if there's one team that Kyle Bradish struggles with, it is the Tampa Bay Rays. Last couple starts against Tampa Bay, 9 2/3 innings, 14 hits, 9 runs. I will say though, he has pitched well in Tampa Bay. His last 2 starts in Tampa Bay, 11 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs. 3 walks, 12 strikeouts. So, I mean, not bad. But, again, Bradish is one of those guys that is kind of all hit or miss. So, I would expect runs here today. Both of these lineups, like Kyle said, are heating up. I just feel like that number is way too low. I understand that it was home runs yesterday, but, man, I mean, this Baltimore team just continues to find ways to score runs. So,
I think the Rays lineup is coming around, too. Yeah, we can make it about Baltimore, and that's fine. But I think Tampa's bats are coming around a little bit.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Silverback, I don't think you have a bet for this one, right?
No, I actually do. I like Baltimore on the money line. So it's minus 142 is a little bit juicy for me, but Baltimore has been the second best road team in baseball next to the Yankees, 19-10. I don't, I trust Bradish more than Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley's very interesting to me. but they just saw him. They just saw Bradley. Now, granted, it was in Baltimore. This one's in Tampa Bay, but they just saw him on June 1st. Touched him 9 times for 9 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Baltimore beat him 3 or 4 times this season. I think that Baltimore money line is a great play here, but again, a little bit juicy for my taste.
Yeah, it's up over minus 140 now, you said?
Yeah, minus 142 last I checked.
Yeah, I mean,
you can get 135 across the board.
You still can't get a minus 135 if someone wants to jump on it. With all the bullpen arms too, yeah, I'd rather go over, but I see why you're on Baltimore. I mean, I get it.
Oh yeah. It's if I had to go over under, I'm over all day long on it. You know, but for me, best bet Baltimore money line. I don't think that I don't see a path for victory for Tampa Bay.
All right, next game, please. You already moved us. Cubs Reds. What a weird matchup this is. Okay.
I'm so stupid. Like, I've been playing the Reds freaking every day, and they come home off a road trip from Coors. I don't play them both days. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I was leaning Reds yesterday as well. Didn't play it. Me and Proppy were just talking about this game this morning. I kind of feel like the Cubs are going to hit Abbott up, but I don't really have any evidence to back it up. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to bet the Cubs. I don't have any good reason to. I just
are the Cubs plus 100 now, Kyle?
Yeah, that it was a little. I'll look it up.
They're
right
minus
now.
105.
Yeah, minus.
Give or take. No plus money out there anymore.
It's certainly a coin toss in this game.
Well, Silverback, what would you do here?
So, I like Ben Brown a lot. And the Reds have not hit righties to have the way they've hit the lefties. I mean, that's a big difference, entirely. My bet here is, I like this play a lot. Now, I got this from minus 125 last night. It's down to minus 110. It's Andrew Abbott under 5.5 strikeouts. And, he's one of these guys, Kyle Toast, that when he came up, man, he really relied on the strikeout. And this happens a lot to major league pitchers. They mow everybody down in college, right? But then they realize that they have to actually pitch, okay? They have to pitch. And when he's done that, his strikeouts have come down considerably so, all right? Now, Pinnacle has this at minus 157. And again, I got it at minus 125. I wish your viewers could do the same. But the minus 110, I think it is right now. There's an absolute huge advantage here, It's he's under in 7 to 10 games this season. Both start last year when he was striking out more last season against the Cubs. He was under in both games. I just think that there's no way he's getting 6 strikeouts today against the Cubs. He's not that guy.
Well, to be honest, I think the Cubs are going to get to Abbott too. But again, I don't really have evidence to suggest it. It's I don't like placing bets on the I got a feeling stuff, but I agree with you that I think that's what's going to happen. I couldn't actually get. You could put Cubs money line up for me.
And there could be, Kyle, in this case, and I bet based on statistics too and based on evidence, but there is a little bit sometimes in this case of paralysis by analysis.
Right.
And I just think they're going to get to him.
Yeah. No, I agree. That sometimes you just can't even explain why that happened, but you knew it was going to happen. And if honestly, I probably would have bet the Cubs today if I didn't have 7 bets open. But I think the Cubs are going to win. I didn't like it enough to actually put money on it, but I like the Cubs. Prop Beaver also was saying that he thinks Abbott is going to to regress the second chunk of this.
He says that every day.
Prop Beaver hates
Abbott.
He hates Abbott.
So,
what do you think?
But no, I would agree. I'm sure I would agree with Beaver. He's 100% right. It's only a matter of time before that dam breaks. I disagree with you guys. I don't understand how you don't play the Reds here. They just saw Ben Brown and lit him up literally his last start for 6 runs. For 5 runs on 6 hits. So again, that's not the only reason that I would bet that. But my issue is that what's the one thing that the Cubs struggle with? Left-handed pitching. So I expect Abbott to pitch well here. I mean, if you, and I'm not even talking shit, if you think that they're going to get to Abbott, then I would play the over if I was you, because it's fantastic weather again in Great America Ballpark, plus 28% from our friends over at Ballpark Pal with their home run percentage. So
what's the turnover total?
Like 9 or something like that. So
it's a nice
there's no way I look at the Reds. I'm sorry. There's no way I look at the Cubs. I will say the Reds bullpen is a little bit taxed. They're not going to have Diaz most likely. Well, they probably use. They use him a lot. Jesus Christ. Diaz and Cruz are taxed of oblivion. That's their top 2 arms. Cruz has went 3 of the last 4 nights. Alexis Diaz has went back-to-back nights as well. So that's late in the ball game is where you're probably going to see a little bit of trouble for the Reds. So maybe a live bet on the Cubs if they're down a little bit, possibly. Huh?
Maybe a little something.
Yeah,
All right. Cubs are passed for me. Abbott under cage for Silverback. Next game, please. We got Boston, Chicago, and man, I'm not even going to pretend to lie to you and say I looked at the game because I didn't care. I did not. There's a lot of good games on the board. Boston, after losing to the White Sox outright last night, wanted no part of this. So this is a straight pass for me.
Yeah, pretty much same thing. I love Brian Bello, but he's been average at best. And I understand that the White Sox are not good, but they have been scoring some runs the last week or so. I understand that some of that was aided by the wind in Chicago, but I'm not going to lay minus 200 or more with Brian Bello on the mound right now in his current form. There's not a chance in hell. So White Sox team total over or pass for me.
So, I hate to come on your show, Kyle, and pass on games, but this is something that I'm not going to bet. Brian Bello, I agree with Toast is average. Who do you think's better, Bello or Castillo, Toast? Castillo being the definition of average, though. I think that Castillo is better than Bello. I think that Bello is the definition of average. He's been way better. He's been pretty good. What's funny with Bello, because I'm very into pitchers, when he came out, they said he had a changeup that resembles Pedro Martinez. The problem is nothing else did. Okay, I mean, to have that changeup, you got to have the four-seamer, you got to have the you got to have the stuff that Pedro doesn't. He just doesn't. I think Nick Nastrini terrible. I think both of you guys would agree with that. 9.84 ERA. I'm not going to bet this game. I want to give your viewers something, Kyle. For me, it'd be over 8.5 for pass.
I could see that, and I like Bello, but I second what Toast said. In his current form, it's tough. And last year he was so dominant.
Yeah, trust me. Like, I would love to come on here and say, "Oh, this is a bounce back spot for Brian Bello," but I can't. There's nothing that gives me a reason to say that.
So it was over for Silverback and White Sox.
Over 8.5. It's the only play I'd make here. Yeah,
he did pitch really well against them last year, but again,
he did. Yeah.
All right, next game, please. Rockies, Cardinals. How about those Cards? I was all pissed off at the Cardinals. And I get off. I finished recording my videos. Look at the score. We covered the run line. So issuing a personal apology to the Cards came through for me.
I quit the game. I recorded a video. And then you got right back in my good graces.
And I'm on the video like Cards aren't going to cover the run line. Like I'm like all pissed about it.
You got to edit it out and shit.
So Cards came through for me yesterday. And to be honest, if I was to bet this game, I would go right back to that. The reason I didn't, though, did you look at the Cardinals bullpen?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, dude.
No, it doesn't.
How are you going to say it doesn't matter?
Because Helsley's went less than 20 pitches the last 3 days, or Romero's went less than 25 as well. The only person I'm actually truly worried about is Kittredge, honestly.
So you could put Cardinals minus 1.5 up for me. That would be my pick. So it's not like I'm disagreeing with Toast. I just won't do it because of the Cardinals bullpen. They're all their main arms. Helsley, 2 of the last 3. Yes, he hasn't thrown a ton of pitches, but he's thrown 2 of the last 3. Romero, 2 of the last 3. Kittredge, 2 of the last 3. So their 3 main bullpen arms have all thrown 2 of their last 3 days. They're also missing one of their middle relievers. So it's Cardinals minus 1.5 for pass, but it's going to be a pass.
Cardinals minus 1.5, and I also paired St. Louis and Toronto together in a money line parlay as well. I don't think either team loses today. I've actually been one of these Kyle Gibson's guys. I kept on just beating the drum that I'm not trying to make a case that he's some stud, but he has been really, really good for the Cardinals. I mean, his last 7 starts, he had 1 bad start against Boston. Besides that, he's doing a really, really good job at minimum keeping him in ball games. And you have Ryan Feltner, who has just been, almost like a gas can at times. I understand that he's looked good at decent times, but the fact of the matter is the Rockies are 3-9 when he starts. Also, on top of that, when the Rockies were, it was like, what is it, a tie game yesterday? The Cardinals broadcast was talking about like the expected numbers and stuff. The Cardinals were expected numbers in that whole series were like over a 900 OPS or something like that, close to 1,000, but they were actually only getting like 600 OPS, like some of the flyouts are at the wall and all that stuff. My point to that is it made sense that the Cardinals kind of opened things up later in the game. And Kyle did talk about the bullpens for the Cardinals, and he's right. Helsley has went 2 of the last 3 days, but he's went less than 20 pitches combined in 4 days. Jojo Romero has went 2 of the last 3 days. He is correct, but he's less than 25 pitches in the last 4 days. I would admit that Kittredge is probably unavailable, but everybody else is good to go. I don't care about John King and his 4.28 ERA. And then on the Colorado bullpen, none of them, the main guys didn't work yesterday, but they're all super taxed as well. Kinley's went 3 of the last 4 days. Jalen Beeks 2 of the last 3 days. Vonduck's 2 of the last 3 days. Caraceri's 3 of the last 4 days. And Molina went 45 yesterday. So it's not like the Rockies have any advantages in the bullpen either. Cardinals minus 1.5 at a plus price.
I mean, I agree, but I'm not betting it.
Toast, what was that? You paired Cardinals money line and Jays money line?
Yep.
What was the odds on that?
157.
I think that's a really good bet. I think that's a fantastic bet. And I have in this game too, Cardinals -1, -1.5 for pass. I don't know if that's bad or what, that all of us agree on it. Rockies are terrible on the road. On the road. And I agree with Toast here too. I think that he's on point with the pitching here. I think that Gibson's a good veteran pitcher. He's not a world beater, right? But I think he's enough for them to beat the Rockies. The Rockies are terrible. They're at almost a plus 100 run differential. I think that again, it's Cardinals -1.5 from your pass, but I'm not going to bet this.
It's Cardinals minus.
Is Beaver producing?
I don't know. He's on his phone.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
Next game, please. Dodgers, Yankees. I put up a video on this one.
I still can't believe it was 1-0 after 10 innings yesterday. That just blows my mind.
It was actually, it was 0-0 after 10 innings.
Or yeah, sorry, 0-0. Yeah, even worse.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are complaining about it, but that was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
I thought that was awesome. The drama, the Stanton at bat. I mean, all that was cool. I thought, if you like baseball, you like baseball. I guess that's.
So I'm on the Dodgers money line and the over. I split my money in half and put a half unit on either. I'm sure if you watch the video, you already know my thoughts on the game. But all right. So do we still trust this Yankees lineup and are handicapping him as the best lineup in baseball without Juan Soto? Because I don't think we should. There's a couple things. Number one, the Yankees lineup was eventually bound to cool down. I mean, they were hitting at such an extreme level. And yeah, they're one of the best lineups in baseball, but no team could sustain that forever. So maybe losing Juan Soto was the catalyst to start kind of the every single lineup is going to do this. Every single lineup is going to do this. And if we look at the last 2-3 weeks, the Dodgers were down here and the Yankees were up here. So now with Juan Soto out of the lineup, is it that crazy to think that we're going to see him flipped? Is it that crazy that if in 1 week the Dodgers are now the hottest team, the hottest lineup at the MLB, and the Yankees are cold again? It's not crazy at all. In fact, I think that's very likely. So if you take it, I think this is going to be one of those situations, and I kind of felt like this yesterday, where we look back in 2 weeks and be like, I can't believe the Dodgers were plus money with Gavin Stone on the mound. It's just a buy low on the Dodgers, which is one of the best teams in baseball, against a Yankees team that's just really due for a slump, missing Juan Soto. Nestor Cortez has been great in Yankee Stadium, 100%. But look at the teams he's pitched against.
Thank you.
I mean, his starts in the Yankee Stadium are against some of the worst teams in baseball. When he's pitched against the best lineups in baseball, against top 10 lineups versus lefties, he's actually got terrible numbers. So he's really struggling when he pitched against good teams. Dodgers in the last 30 days, best lineup in baseball against lefties. So I'm on the Dodgers here at plus money, and coming off that low-scoring game, I expect to see some runs. I expect this to swing the other way. I do expect the Yankees to score a couple off of Gavin Stone, but Gavin Stone's been excellent. So yeah, I like runs in this one, and I like the Dodgers to get it done. Both these bullpens are completely roasted, by the way. They were both in bad shape before last night's game, and then they went 11 innings. So bullpens are in a situation. We should see runs here, and I like the Dodgers at plus money.
Yeah, I love the Dodgers as too. If you guys have been following me, Just really quickly for everybody that's been following me, Gavin Stone is the new Tony Gonsolin, everybody. Just remember that. Just remember I told you, remember all the money we made with Tony Gonsolin. This is the new Tony Gonsolin. His name is Gavin Stone. Dodgers just always seem to play well when this kid pitches. Dodgers are 8-3 when Gavin Stone starts. And over Gavin Stone's last 7 starts, he has a 1.64 ERA. That's third best in baseball. Why did I play the over? Well, I just don't feel like, first of all, I don't feel like he's going to come in and blank the Yankees. I understand. And over his, like I just said, his ERA is a 1.64 over his last 7 starts. And this totals at 9. I don't think that the Dodgers are going to do all the heavy lifting. But what I will say is, to Sauce's point about Nestor Cortez, his last 3 starts at home have all been good. Those teams, Seattle, White Sox, Detroit, 3 teams that none of those teams really scare you offensively at all. So, like I said, we didn't see anything, barely any runs yesterday. I think we see a plethora of runs today. And if you're going to give me the Dodgers at plus money, I'm going to take it. I also did spring Dodgers -1.5 at plus 162 for 0.25 units.
Did you take the over also?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the over too? Okay.
Yeah.
Silverback, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers?
I think that if I had to play the game here, I think that is a coin flip and you take the plus money every time. I'm a big fan of that. You flip a coin, you give me plus money every time it lands on heads. I give you 100 every time it lands on tails. I do that every time. You know, someone said in the comments, over under 7.5 disagreements, Silverback and toast. I think that's funny. Address the elephant in the room here, man. We disagree a lot, but I have a lot of respect for you. I think you're a great bettor. I follow you on X, but I want to come on here and give you guys something to think about, something to talk about. I think it's good to have.
Shit, no, he didn't care. Trust me, he didn't.
No, okay, cool. I just want to let. Okay, cool. All right, because I'm not done.
No, that's the comments. That's the comments.
No,
he doesn't care.
Yeah, I just want
to read the comments. No, or at least,
I think it's fun to read the comments because I respect the viewer's point of view. You know what I'm saying?
No, I meant like don't read the comments and assume that my feelings are legit.
Oh no, I know, man. Yeah. I just address shit. You know what I'm saying? But I respect you, brother, and I think it's good. I want to give you, people don't watch the show because everyone agrees with the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, and like I said, the viewers of the Sauce Network are educated. I follow everything online. I do this for a living. I've been doing it for a while. The Sauce Network viewers are the most educated I've found. I want to give them different things to think about, and I want to give them a lot of fun. Okay, I want to keep them coming. I saw a lot of best show ever comments because me and Toast were going on it. That's fun to me. Stir it up, baby. Let's go. You know. And I'm Gavin Stone is funny to me, man. You know, I was hating on him at first, you know, and it's funny. In my best friend T-Bone makes fun of me all the time to say I was a former pitcher, right? And I was, man. I was a good pitcher. Never made it that big, but I watched these guys, okay, and I like it. And Gavin Stone, man, I wasn't digging him at first. I wasn't, but you look at what he's done his last 5 starts, okay. 1 run, 4 runs, Arizona, 0 runs. Again, he hasn't played great opponents, but he hasn't let up 3 runs in 8 of 9 starts. Okay, so I'm on his under 2.5 earned runs. I know he's got to go deeper because the bullpens are taxed. They certainly are. Okay, but he hasn't been given this up, guys. He hasn't. And again, Juan Soto out of that lineup in the 2 spot. Okay, Judge doesn't have to see pitches now. Okay, Stanton doesn't have to see the pitches he was seeing. We saw last night what happened. Now I know that Yamamoto's a great pitcher, right? But he's more of a strikeout guy, you know. But I think that Stone's not going to give up 3 runs today. He hasn't done it, you know, in 8 out of 9 games. I don't think it happens today in a Soto-less Yankees lineup.
Yeah. So to support your bet, by the way, I talked about how Nestor Cortez has struggled against top 10 lineups. Well, Gavin Stone's the opposite. He's actually pitched great against good lineups. So I'm not. Look, he's on the road to Yankee Stadium. This is a tough spot for any starting pitcher. But on the season, if you look at his game logs against good teams, he's pitched really, really, really well. So, yeah, Gavin Stone. I'm on the Dodgers. I'm backing Gavin.
He's funny, man. He's not a household cat, you know, but he's a good pitcher. I've seen him take no-hitters into the 7th. You know, I remember I had him over 4.5 strikeouts against the Padres. Took a no-hitter to the 7th, only 3 strikeouts. He's just getting outs, baby. He's getting outs. That's all he does.
That's what we need. We need some outs. All right, let's move on to the next game. Cleveland, Miami. Man, why didn't I bet the fish yesterday with you, Toast?
I told you to.
I liked it. I put up Marlins for me too, and the The commentators for it, like morons.
Oh, can't take this Cleveland at a cheap price. The best team in baseball.
This is a pass for me. I know that Silverback has a strikeout prop in this one because I remember making the Munoz graphic. So you want to go first?
I would like to introduce the Sauce Network viewers to Rodri Munoz. Over 3.5 strikeouts for -105 is incredibly good value. And, a lot of people don't know who he is. He started with the Braves organization, got traded to the Marlins. And, the knock on him, boys, was that he's too much over the plate for major league hitters. Okay. He's too much over the plate for major league hitters. Developed a wicked slider that's more of a sweeper that moves at 89, 91 like you haven't seen. Okay. And I went back in preparation for today's show, preparation for my bet, because this is on it's open on my card, this bet. Went back in preparation, watched all of his starts this season. Boys, 97-mile-an-hour sinker that drops off a table. That 91 slider is fit. It's super fit. He's hitting 99 on the four-seamer. He's had 3 starts, struck the Cubs out 7 times, struck the Rockies out, big deal, right? 7 times, struck the Dodgers out 5 times, okay? Now, again, the Guardians are very good. I get that. I understand that. I know their lineup's dope. To me, they're a bit overrated. I still think that the Royals will win that division. The Guardians are good. I don't want that label to me that they're not good, but I think that, and I'm on the Marlins for +140 money line as well, for my underdog of the day. But I think that Rodri Munoz is someone who's unknown, that a lot of the public hasn't seen yet, and I think he's going to cook them today for maybe 5-6 strikeouts, and I think the Marlins win.
Proppy, you could put up an under graphic for me. But I'm not going to bet it. I actually like that Marlins pick, but I'm pissed I didn't play him yesterday, so I won't be betting this. And to your point about Cleveland, yeah, they're a great team. They're definitely much better at home, though. So on the road,
yes,
you can find spots to fade them, even though they've been profitable across the board. But you can find spots to fade Cleveland on the road. Toast?
It'd be Miami or pass. I didn't bet it, but we essentially kind of have the same situation as yesterday. Not the price-wise, but you have Ben Lively, who has been pretty good for Cleveland. I'm not going to try to make a case that he hasn't, but what is the one thing that Ben Lively struggles with? It's right-handed bats, 355 Woba, 146 whip, 432 whip. And then you pull up that Miami lineup, and it's De La Cruz, Berger, Bell, Brujan, Edwards, Fortes. I mean, it's a righty. Again, they're not great righties, but it's a tough
lineup for him.
It's the same situation. Like, you have Miami in a favorable split at home with a plus money with probably the world on the other side. So for me, there's no way you can play Cleveland. It'd be Miami or pass for me. I didn't bet it. But it was circled. I just haven't got there yet. But there's no way I play Cleveland. How's that?
All right. Everyone's leaning towards the Marlins a little bit. Move on to the next game, please. Arizona, San Diego. I played the Snakes in this one. First of all, is the system broken? Ryan Nelson at home? Is it broken?
He's on the road.
No, I know, but I'm saying the Ryan Nelson system is broken.
Maybe I don't know about that. I don't know. First of all, Beaver's the creator of the system, so you could talk to him about that. I also think that Giants game, the Giants are terrible. I know that I've just talked really good about them, but before that, they were absolutely terrible. So I don't really know
but they're not as bad as the Rangers, right, Toast?
The way
that's
that they're
exactly
being
right.
priced, no, the Rangers are dog shit. So
yeah, exactly.
They're being priced like that. So go ahead, Sauce.
Okay. Proppy, give me an Arizona money line graphic, please. I got it at plus 125. And it may be a little bit of a play on the number, but I do think Arizona wins the game.
No, you don't.
Waldron's been pitching well, so I'm not going to sit here and come on and say this is a fade of Waldron, but Arizona's starting to hit righties, and that's not really something they're known for because most of the season at least for the first 6-7 weeks of the season, they were getting to lefties. But recently, they've been getting to righties. They've also been hitting on the road. I think it's a perfect spot that we see Waldron come back down to earth. Now, again, this isn't a fade of Waldron, but I do think Arizona's going to get to him. And you got Ryan Nelson, who, one, is almost always a good pitcher to back on the road. I mean, dating back to last year, he usually pitches well on the road. That's number one. Padres lineup has been pretty trash at home. That's number two. Also, Ryan Nelson just snapped his streak of getting rocked at home. So I think our young friend Ryan Nelson is turning over a new leaf. I think he's going to be a solid pitcher to bet on down the stretch in this season. So in my opinion, this is a little bit of a coin flip / slightly leaning towards Arizona, and I'm getting at plus 125. I didn't lay the house on it. I put 0.75 units, but I think it's a good valuable bet to have. Snakes take this one.
You can have that. Padres first 5 run line at plus 100. This is simply me betting on Matt Waldron figuring his stuff out. His last 5 starts, and now that he's using the knuckleball more, 29 in the third innings, 1.84 ERA, a 0.92 whip. He's only walking guys 5% of the time. He's striking guys out over 30% of the time. Matt Waldron has been very, very good for the Padres. I understand that Arizona hit him up his last time out. I'll take my chances that he pitches better here today, because guess what? Ryan Nelson has been absolutely throttled the last 5 times he has seen the San Diego Padres. At no point has he ever had a good start against the San Diego Padres. So maybe the Snakes get to the Padres late, but I will take my chances with the Padres early in this first 5. So Padres first 5 run line at plus 100.
Okay. I think you're wrong. I actually like the Snakes in the first 5, but all right.
You didn't bet it.
No, but we could both cash. That's the silver lining here. I don't think you're going to, but I think we both can cash. Silverback, who would you side with here, San Diego or Arizona? I think you have a
San
strikeout
Diego.
problem.
San Diego, but I'm all over Matt Waldron, plus 100 on DraftKings, over 4.5 strikeouts. Arizona has been hitting righties better, but they've also been striking out a lot. Last 30 days is my favorite time to look at. 8th most strikeouts to right-handed pitchers. Over this in 4 of his last 5 Ks, over 31.1% K rate over his last 5. I'm getting plus money on 5 strikeouts. That knuckleball's different. It's very different. It's not the Tim Wakefield knuckleball we've seen. It's moving 80, 83 miles an hour, but he's not just a knuckleball pitcher. He couples that with a fastball in the low 90s, up to 94 he's been at times. He couples that with the sweeper. He couples that with a changeup. He's a very good strikeout pitcher. Like Toe said, he's not only figuring his stuff out, he's figuring out ways to get players out. And a lot of that with no runners on base, and I don't think they'll have a lot of base runners, a lot of that's the strikeout. Plus money, I got to take him over 4.5, Kyle.
So you like Waldron here over strikeout?
I do, very much.
There is a path where all 3 of us cash our bets here.
That would be delightful.
It's a very unique path, but we can get there.
I like it.
All right, so I believe we have one more MLB game.
Really quickly, 2 sauces, Arizona money line. I would say that Arizona has a pretty decent advantage in the back end, and just because you're not going to have Estrada for the Padres.
Why did they pitch him yesterday?
Dude, I can't even talk about that right now. So no Estrada, no De Los Santos, and probably no Peralta as well. So that Padres bullpen is definitely not looking good. That's part of the reason that I stuck to the first 5.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, if Toast doesn't want to talk about it, so
I don't.
Just so what we're talking, what we're referring to, Padres won by 7 runs yesterday and used one of their most reliable bullpen arms for no reason on the 2nd straight day. So now he's not available. Which up 7? Why the hell?
That was silly.
The only thing that I can think of is that he didn't look good this previous game, and Schultz wanted to get him in there and to get that thing out of his mind. So that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know.
All right. So last game is Astros Angels, and I actually passed on this one. Don't have a bet. I hit my under last night, which looked excellent for 98% of that game, except for that one inning where the Astros scored a bunch of runs. But I did hit the under. I don't know. I kind of would lean towards the Angels, but because because the Astros lineup on the road has not been reliable over the course of the season, they have not been a good lineup on the road. So I guess Tyler Anderson bounced back because didn't he just have a bad start? I'll just say Angels are pass for me.
He did not have a bad start. He hasn't had a bad start in weeks.
No, didn't he just? I thought he snapped his streak of good starts.
No.
No. Well, it's a pass for me.
6 innings, 1 run, 6 2/3, 1 run, 5 inning, 1 run, 8 inning, 1 run, 7 inning, 1 run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he was good as hell in his last start.
Yeah. So
what start am I thinking of?
His last bad start was against Pittsburgh, I guess.
Kansas City, maybe? You know what? I think I backed him in the Yankees game, and I'm thinking he had a bad start, but he actually didn't. They just lost. But he didn't.
Well, you know what? He did walk 6 guys in that Yankees game. So
then that's what I'm thinking of.
If you're watching that game, he definitely didn't pitch.
So that's what I'm thinking of, the Yankees start, because I'm pretty sure it's like the Angels there. But anyway, it's a pass for me.
It'd be Astros or pass for me personally. I actually trust Hunter Brown on the road. I think that I trust Hunter Brown on the road much more than I do trust him in Houston. My issue is without Kyle Tucker in the lineup, I already not really love this Astros team on the road. I mean, the last 14 days, 30 days, it really hasn't been great. I will say, usually you can trust Houston against lefties a little bit more. It hasn't necessarily always been the case this year, but again, he continues to pitch well, so it is what it is. But I just don't, and I haven't been betting against him, but I don't believe that Tyler Anderson is going to continue to give you 1-run baseball. So he's had a couple of starts against the Astros. The Astros saw him twice last year. The one start looked really good. The other start he gave up 7 runs. So Astros saw him once this year already. He went 8 innings. Maybe the Astros get to him today. I don't know if I play it. I don't know. But that's how I feel about it.
Silverback, anything for this one?
Yeah, I got a lot to say here, Kyle. I know we're running behind for MMA, but Hunter Brown, that's Kevin's kid. We know that, Kevin Brown.
I actually didn't know that.
Yes, Kevin Brown, the famous Dodgers pitcher. It's his son. So I have been studying this cat for 2 years, and I'm 71% on his strikeout props, over and under. And he's fascinating to me. He's an enigma. He's got wicked strikeout stuff. He struggles mightily with control. He was relegated to the bullpen early on in the season. He comes out firing darts. He's hit over 100 miles an hour on his 4-seamer. His last 2 games, he's got 16 strikeouts. Okay. I think that being relegated to the bullpen a little bit did a little something to him. The Angels don't walk much, 0.3 walk to strikeout ratio, which is perfect for Hunter Brown. They're chasing balls. If he starts off early, he's striking the side out. He's at over 5.5 strikeouts, guys, for plus 125 on DraftKings currently. That's where I took it at. I love it. I'm in love with this. I need him to go 4 2/3 innings, and he's going to get this. And I think he certainly will against the Angels. Strikes out 9th most last 30 days, right-handed pitchers. He's got incredible stuff. He's very frustrating at times, but again, I've picked the spots to fade him. I've picked the spots to back him. And again, no bullshit. I think the Sauce Network has the most educated viewers on YouTube. I truly do. And I'm asking them. I'm telling them right now, 5.5 strikeouts for plus money. Hunter Brown's getting it done today for us, boys.
Pop it in. One. I like the confidence there.
If you can read between the lines, I like that pick. Yeah.
At plus money, Hunter Brown over 5.5 strikeouts.
You got to do it, brother. You got to do it.
I love you, Silverback, but he's not Kevin Brown's kid, just so you know.
He's not?
No.
Are you sure?
100%.
Do you know his father's name?
Do I know Hunter Brown's dad's name? No, but yes. I do know that Kevin Brown, the pitcher, his son plays for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's Kevin Brown, the orthodontist from Georgia.
Okay.
His dad's an orthodontist from Georgia, Kevin Brown.
Oh, okay. Wait. So it's not the pitcher, Kevin Brown?
I thought it was Kevin Brown.
So Kevin Brown has a son that pitches, but it's not Hunter Brown.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I started this thing on my channel last year, going Kevin Brown, or Hunter Brown, hey, that's Kevin's kid, and it caught on. And I actually thought it was Kevin Brown's kid, but it's not. Nonetheless, and Toast, you're correct. It might not be his son, but the stats are still the same. Everything's still the same.
Hunter Brown's dad's name is Cody Brown.
Cody, is he an orthodontist?
You got to click on his LinkedIn. We don't have time for that.
He must do something with teeth, I'm sure.
Oh, shit. Someone say Kevin
Hunter
Brown.
Everything I said remains the same for Hunter Brown.
Just eliminate that first one.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful bet.
All right. Make sure you give these guys a follow. I tagged them in the tweet. Let's talk UFC. Guys, have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Toast, talk to you later, man.
See you later.
Appreciate it, boys. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. All right. So, are the UFC guys not here? Is that the correct link? Oh, it's not. Oh, my God. I sent him the wrong link. Well, that'll explain it. 1 second. Sorry, UFC guys, if you're watching. That's why you weren't able to join.
Yo, I'll talk some UFC, baby. Let's roll.
Hold on 1 sec. So, that's my bad. Password. Damn it. iPhone auto correct. All right, guys, if you're watching, I just sent you the right link. Bam. All right, let's talk UFC now. I just sent it to them, so they'll be joining any second. Looks like the UFC graphics are loaded up. You did it the right way. Like, you deleted the chunk and then relinked them. That's exactly what I meant. You can go ahead and if you want, start the poll for the first fight if you want. Here we go. Here's Teller. What's going on, man? Well, yeah, and Bill got a mic too. So I'm thinking in my end, I'm more prepared with the graphics. So I'm thinking we're gonna. Why is he showing up twice? Why is he showing up as a? Just try recopying the link. Oh, that's weird. Oh, who cares? I think it looks cool. So.
Oh, you got. I see it now. I just see it.
It's because you have like a weird. I'm guessing that's from your window. You know what? Just turn the green screen off. Go to filters. That'll fix that. Just go to filters on his camera. Yeah. On his camera. No. In the stream. Go to filters on his camera. And just hit the eyeball next to chroma key. There we go. Good.
How's that? Looking smooth?
Yeah. You must have that camera pasted somewhere in the stream. Whatever. You have 4A open. That's why. That's why. You could put his chroma key back on now. It's because you clicked. There we go. I don't know where Bill is, but let's go ahead and get the poll started on the first fight.
All right.
Someone said UFC graphics are dope. Thanks, man. Yeah, last week was kind of rough around the edges, where they're looking a little better now. I tried to do the colors as in the country that they're representing. That's what I went with. So we got Radtke at plus 170. These names are...
Racky.
Racky, that's how you say it?
Yeah, Racky.
And Prates, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and if you want to put a little of that Brazilian Portuguese slang on it, I guess they say it as Prates. Prates.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could just do the two-thing poll or whatever you want to do. Okay. So if Bill shows up, cool. If not, you can just run through it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll enjoy that. Yeah, maybe we'll jump right into this fight taking place in the welterweight division. This dude, Charlie Radtke, bursted on the scene into the UFC, was really a guy that was overlooked. But, he wins his first fight against a lower level fighter, but he got some notoriety for jumping on the mic and kind of just being outlandish, cursing out the entire crowd at the arena that day. But he backed that performance up, or backed that performance on the mic up, with coming into his next fight and starching this dude, Gilbert Urbina, who's not the most respected fighter, but he's a dangerous dude. The hardcore fans know he comes from a family of fighters. He's a tough dude. But the way that Radtke went out there, finished him in the first round with his hands, was pretty impressive, if you ask me. On the other hand, Carlos Prates has been looking really good. This dude brings in some intangibles to the division. He's very rangy. He's a fighter that can finish his opposition in devastating fashion, as he did in his last fight against a proven fighter, a fighter in Trevin Giles that's a more respectable name compared to anybody that Radtke's fought so far. But the thing that you have to notice is in that fight, Trevin Giles was on his way to winning rounds 1 and 2 before being finished at the end of the second round. But if he would have not got hit with a huge shot and finished up, he was outlanding Prates in that fight. So here's the thing, this dude Prates will look to finish you, but I think that he showed some signs of being hittable. And the way that Radtke just looked so dangerous in his last fight, I think that Prates may be looking to land these dangerous Muay Thai skills, the knees up the middle and all these step-in type of strikes. And I wouldn't be shocked if the underdog lands a big strike with his hands and potentially knocks out Prates in this fight. So I like the dog value here on Radtke, who's currently right around plus 180. But even earlier in the week, he was up in the plus 200 range.
Plus one. So we're starting off with a dog. We're taking a swing early. Yeah. Looks like Bill made it too. So let's get Bill on the screen. I'm not connected to him, so I don't know. Let's see. 1 second. Let's get Bill on the screen. Is he on the screen? No, right? Yeah, no, I for some reason he's not showing up for mine. I might just have to leave and come back real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. But I don't think he can hear me. I'm going to leave and come back real quick. 1 second.
All right, guys. The teller is hosting the Kyle Kirms show. We're taking over the game. The teller's here.
I can hear Kyle. I was hearing Kyle.
Here we go.
Can you guys hear me?
I got.
All right, cool. All right, and I can hear Bill now too. All right, Bill. He went Radtke money line. He's taking a shot with the dog to start it off. You like? What do you like in this first fight?
I was on the same thing with Radtke.
Oh, you're on Radtke too? All right. Go ahead and put.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to say this. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did you?
Took a shot on him inside distance, 400.
Okay.
And on submissions, 900.
Oh shit! All right. So, all right, you guys are taking some serious swings. So you got the money line, and you're taking a shot in the distance and by submission at plus 900, which isn't that graphic. Our graphic ends at plus 400. So you guys like this guy. All right. Let's move on to the next fight.
Let's go for it all.
Baeza Soriano. Okay. So Baeza minus 198, Soriano as the plus 164 dog here. Bill, you want to go first on this one?
What'd you say? This is the Baeza Soriano?
Baeza Soriano, yeah. Is he delayed?
Yeah, I'm going with Baeza. He's a striker. Yeah, it's kind of choppy.
Yeah, I think there's a connection problem. So he's on Baeza. Teller, your connection's good. Do you want to talk about this one? I don't know what you're on.
Yeah, so I'll say this first and foremost. I'm on the Baeza side, but I don't say it with a lot of confidence. This is a little bit of a tricky fight. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay, first and foremost, Baeza returns to the cage off quite a layoff, just over 2 years of a layoff, and he's coming off 2 knockout losses in a row, and his chin looked to be really diminished after that last knockout. And that's a little bit of an issue here because this dude Soriano throws absolute heat. This guy looks to decapitate dudes when he's in there, throws from the hip. And if he lands, there's a very good chance he's going to knock Baeza out. But Soriano has some major question marks in regards to his game. He's a fighter that has shown really bad cardio. When he's out there looking for that finish, if he doesn't get it, he kind of breaks down a little bit. He gasses out. And he's a fighter that was finished in his last 2 fights. He comes in this fight off 2 losses, and he's coming down from the middleweight division down to the welterweight division, which could be a good thing because as we have question marks about his cardio, maybe his cardio is a little bit better coming down in weight. But, we'll see how that goes. Sometimes some of these fighters, they cut weight and it actually diminishes their cardio. This is a thick dude. He has probably some dense bones, a Hawaiian dude. Maybe cutting down in weight's not the best thing for his cardio. All in all, I will side with Baeza to win this fight. I'll take him on the money line, which he's now right around minus 190. I'm not crazy about that line. I'm not really pushing you guys to go to attack that. There's some question marks in regards to Baeza's game. But as the fight progresses, Baeza has good striking. He's a good athlete. He'll have a reach advantage here. And as long as he avoids that big knockout shot, he should be okay here, and he should wear Soriano out.
Now, you guys both like Baeza. Judging by what you said about how Soriano there is a chance that if he catches him, he can finish him. What about an under on the rounds, or just bet the fight to not go the distance?
Yeah, I'm not
odds on that.
I'm not opposed to those types of bets at all. The only issue is that they're high lines. I took a look at those as well. The under 2.5 rounds is as high as minus 250. So you know what I mean? It's yeah.
All right. So let's go to the next fight, please. Marquez Reese, USA versus USA here. All right. What do you tell her who you got in this one?
So I like Zach Reese here. Zach Reese is a fighter. He's 30 years old. He's not that young, especially when you take into consideration just 7 pro fights. That's not completely his fault, because there's a lot of buzz that went around that early on in his career. A lot of fighters didn't want to fight him. He had a tough time getting matched up with dudes. Dudes were pulling out. People kind of understand that he's a talented fighter. Good jiu-jitsu skills for his size. Good athlete. He'll have a nice 5-inch reach advantage here. He's not the most proven fighter, though. That's the thing. He came into his UFC debut and got slammed on his head, got knocked out, taking his first ever loss. And it was definitely a performance that makes you have big question marks about him going into this fight. Julian Marquez, though, is coming off a couple losses in a row as well. He's been getting finished. He's a fighter that has very bad cardio. He's a slugger that has some jiu-jitsu skills. I'm interested to see how this fight takes place in the mat. I'm interested to see who kind of gets the better of the jiu-jitsu there. All in all, though, if Reese doesn't get knocked out, I think that he will be a step ahead with his length, his athleticism, and whatnot. And I think it's even more likely he finds the finish maybe later on in this fight. But this is a good fight. This is a close fight. I like Reese on the money line at dog value.
And that fight you were talking about where he got slammed on his head, that's his only career loss. Still, he's 6-1. Okay, Reese at plus money. I like this one. I don't know if Bill can hear me. Can you hear me, Bill? Yeah, I don't think he can hear me.
I can hear it. It's just choppy.
All right, so we're talking about Marquez Reese. What do you think of Reese money line at plus money? No?
I picked Marquez.
Oh, shit. Okay, we have a disagreement.
First time, huh?
Yeah, first, because you guys were all in the same ones last time. So we have a disagreement. Are you able to, I don't know if you're able to follow the show because it's choppy. Can you give us a couple reasons for Marquez that you like?
It's going to be a sloppy fight. Like, the thing is, I think Marquez is not a great fighter, but he's at least more proven at the UFC level. Reese came off the Contender Series. Wasn't really that great of a prospect coming in. I didn't think so. And then he lost his debut to Cody Brundage, which is pretty bad. So I'm not sure if he's really even a UFC caliber fighter, whereas I think Marquez has got a little bit more skill to him, and cardio. Neither one has great cardio, but I think Marquez can outlast him enough to possibly submit him.
Okay. I mean, that does make sense. And it actually is, it's minus 140 isn't that expensive. So we got a disagreement. I'm going to make a judgment call. I'm going to see what the Discord likes at the time. So don't put anything up for me yet, because I don't want to make a call right now. I'll decide later. Let's move on to the next one, which is Ferreira Stoltzfus.
Yep, Dustin Stoltzfus.
Stoltzfus. Okay, I said it right.
Yep.
So we got Brazil versus USA. Ferreira, a big favorite here, minus 250 when I made these graphics. I don't know if it's since moved. What are you guys thinking? How do we play this one? Heavy favorite.
You want me to jump on this here, Bill, or you want to go after this? Okay. All right. So, this is an interesting fight. It should be a fun one. Got to cut some moving parts going on here.
I'll go with this
one.
one.
Shit, all right.
Yeah,
he's
go ahead.
like 5 seconds behind. So go ahead.
Okay.
I'll start with this one. I like Ferreira in this fight. The line might be a little bit wide. in favor of him, but he's a finisher. He's got 11 wins, all come inside the distance. I think 9 of them are in the first round. Stoltzfus has some durability issues and defensive striking issues, so I think Ferreira gets to him early. Now, if it Ferreira's only fought, I think, past 7 minutes once. So if it does get extended, then Stoltzfus probably, could take over late. But I think Ferreira gets the early knockout.
You said 9 of his 11 victories were in the first round. I might trigger.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
He's only left the first round 2 times, and in those fights that he left the first round, he basically finished the fight as soon as the second round popped off.
Wow.
Within like 12 seconds. I mean, this guy's barely left the first round.
Okay, so you, how would you play it?
I'll be honest. This fight to me is one that, it's a little tricky here. Bruno, very accurate with his striking. He's like we said, man, he doesn't last long in there, and he's pretty much the guy that's finishing you. So we don't know how he's going to look in those later rounds. The problem with that is if he doesn't get that first round knockout or that knockout within 10 seconds of the second round, Dustin Stoltzfus is a black belt in judo, I believe a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a crafty grappler. Great, I wouldn't say great conditioning, but good conditioning. He kind of checks off those intangibles. He's not a crazy athlete. He's a guy that, does his due diligence in other aspects of the game. And I could see him, if this fight goes later in the fight, I could see him getting a finish and dominating the fight in the second and third rounds. If this fight goes to the third round, Dustin Stoltzfus is doing something very good in this fight. But with that all being said, I do believe that Bruno Ferreira is gonna tag Stoltzfus early in this fight. Stoltzfus has bad striking defense. He's very stiff and upright. He's there to be hit, and Ferreira just continues to show that he can find the mark and he can knock you out, which is what he did in his UFC debut against a high caliber opponent right off the rip.
So you're on Ferreira in the distance.
Hold on, I gotta look.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the thing is, he's a minus 185 at inside the distance, which is still kind of a high line. But I'd rather take him inside the distance than even targeting him on that very high money line. Because if he's going to have success in this fight, he has to finish this fight. I really believe that. I think he needs to get a knockout in this fight.
So Ferreira in the distance, minus 185, paying some juice for it. But like they said, this guy has finished a lot of fighters off.
All right, I'm back.
Let's move on to the next one.
You want me to hop on this? Okay, we got Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Ricky Turcios. We got the youngster, Raul Rosas Jr., still only 19 years old. Made his debut in the UFC at 18 years old. I mean, this is just a kid. People are very high on him. Shows to have very high caliber grappling. And even though he's so young, this is a dude that was involved in the fight game from when he was a baby, essentially. So his 19 is a seasoned 19. And shows flashes. But I'm going to just bring up his performance against C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez, who's a well-rounded fighter. That was a fight that when we saw Raul Rosas Jr. face some turbulence and not get that quick finish, we saw him look pretty sloppy. I wasn't a big fan of how his striking looked. Okay, he did bounce back with the first round knockout over Terrence Mitchell. Terrence Mitchell is a fighter that should have never been fighting in the UFC. He was on the Ultimate Fighter years ago, got knocked out on that show. The UFC gave Terrence Mitchell, they fed him to Raul Rosas Jr. That was a setup fight. Okay, so don't think Raul Rosas Jr. is just going to go out there knocking dudes out left and right. I don't see that from him when I watch film on him. Has a lot of potential still, but we need to see more from him. And where the line is for this fight, I think there's more value on the veteran in Ricky Turcios, who's a well-rounded fighter. And if he could stuff takedowns and have this fight play out to the later rounds and kind of a grueling type of brawl type of fight, I think that Ricky Turcios can get the better of the striking exchanges. So I like the dog value.
We got another shot on a dog here, plus 190, plus 195. Bill, are you taking Turcios? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Turcios.
I'm siding with Rosas, and I have him in a parlay with the next fight.
Okay. So why do you like Rosas?
The reason why I like Rosas, Turcios has bad defensive wrestling. So Rosas is going to be aggressive early, probably gets the takedowns early. It's a matter of how much his gas tank holds up, and if he starts to fade, then Turcios is very live in the second and third round. But with his wrestling being so bad, and if Rosas just has enough cardio to last into the beginning of the third round and maybe didn't start to tire, I think he can bang 2 rounds and grind out a decision.
So Rosas, you have it in a parlay with Jacobe, which we're about to talk about. And judging by what you said, if you like Rosas, if you were going to bet a finishing method, you would lean towards Rosas by decision, judging based on what you said, right?
Yeah, I saw it was around plus 180. This fight was originally supposed to happen in February, and I know the decision prop was a little higher then, so I didn't take a stab this time. I just took it in a parlay just to cover everything.
So, and just to piggyback on that in 2 aspects too, Ricky Turcios has never been subbed before, so kind of actually giving some credit towards DeGen's mindset there with that, because maybe that decision is more likely. But also, again, if you're on the Turcios side too, never been submitted. Rosas Jr. submitting the majority of his wins coming by way of submission. So if Turcios defends those submissions, can start to do what he does best, kind of getting back up to his feet and making it a scrappy fight with the striking.
So someone said the Sauce watch UFC. He seems to be lost. It's a combination. So I'm a casual MMA fan, number 1. And number 2, these odds and graphics are all new. So me and Prop Beaver are like scrambling to get this, because when it comes to baseball, I could rip through 15 baseball games in a live show. Like I could do it blindfolded, but so the graphics and the way the polls and everything is a little different. So we're struggling to keep up. That's why I look lost.
By the time I get done with the sauce, he's going to be a pro when it comes to
right.
the MMA game.
Yeah. This is our second week. It's going smooth. So let's move on to the next fight, please, Prop Beaver. Reyes Jacobe, and you could just leave Bill's graphic up, MMA Degenerate's graphic up, because he's got Rosas in a parlay with Jacobe. So Bill, go ahead. Why do you like Jacobe?
It's basically a fade on Dominic Reyes because he's been knocked out in 3 straight fights. He almost beat John Jones. It was very close, but ever since then, he's been knocked out 3 times. So it's showing that he has no durability. And Jacobe's a good striker. He's not a big power puncher. He does have 3 first-round knockouts. The majority of Jacobe's fights he's point fighting kickboxing. But just the fact that until Reyes can show me that he can take a punch, then I'm going to go against him to get finished. So that's why I like Jacobe.
Do you agree that Jacobe finishes him?
Me right here, Tyler? Yeah. I do. And I want to make sure I make this very clear. This is my favorite play on the card. Dustin Jacobe is the lock of the card as far as I'm concerned. If you want to play it safe and go after the money line, but even going for the inside the distance or KO/TKO type of props, I like the KO there at dog odds at plus 135. I really think Jacobe is going to knock Reyes out. I think Reyes' chin is completely gone. I'll tell you a funny story real quickly. For his last fight, I'm sitting at the bar, and one of Reyes' friends is sitting next to me, just started talking to him, and it was his real deal friend. I mean, he showed me pictures and whatnot before the fight, and he's always there for Reyes' fights live, and he was sitting there all nervous, and we saw Reyes get starched once again, and his boy was sick. I mean, he packed it up and left the bar right after that, and he said that him and his boys are going to tell Reyes that he needs to hang the gloves up, that he should not be fighting anymore, and then here we are, a year and a half later, and he's stepping back in there, and I think he's going to get knocked out again. I really do. Jacobe, this is a dude that's fought over in Glory Kickboxing. He's a very polished kickboxer, switching stances. All he has to do, as I just messaged Jacobe on Instagram, and he saw the message and gave it a little heart, I just said, hey, you know what you got to do. All you got to do is touch him. You just got to touch the chin, and I think he touches him and he finishes him up.
He gave the message a heart?
He did give the message a heart. I made a little funny video. I made a little funny video on IG and in regards to him winning that fight. That's how confident I am in the fight. And I'm sure he got a little chuckle at the video, but I really think he gets this knockout. I really do.
If he left you on red, I wouldn't tail. But he clicked the heart button on the message. I'll tail.
There we go.
Both these guys like Jacobe to get it done. Seems like both of them like him to get it done by finish as well, by knockout. So I'll be on that one. I'll be betting Jacobe in some way later when we get to that. Last one, main event. Is it Cannonier? Am I saying that right?
Jared Cannonier.
Cannonier. Against this guy's from
Cannonier.
Imavov.
All right.
Imavov. You would think the main event. I know how to pronounce the names. Nope. All right. So what do you guys like? Tyler, why don't you go first? Bill went first in the last one.
Yeah. So now this fight here, we got top 10 ranked middleweight action here. People can argue that if Jared Cannonier gets a win here, that he should arguably be in line for a title shot. But he's not going to get that next title shot. It's going to either be the winner of Robert Whittaker and Chimaev or Sean Strickland, Kyle Kirms' favorite fighter, who just had a big victory at UFC 302.
Not a fan.
But I mean, this is a big fight for Cannonier because if he loses this at 40 years old, you could pretty much say he's never getting a shot at the title again. Needs to get this victory. Imavov at just 28 has some more time to eventually reach his aspirations to fight for the gold, which I could easily see happening within the next couple years. This fight to me, 5-round fight, 25-minute fight, but it actually still kind of screams going to a decision to me. Cannonier is a fighter that he welcomes a kickboxing type of match, and he doesn't really push the pace too much at times. And if you take a look at his 2 losses, whenever he's been finished, it was at the heavyweight division years ago, and then the light heavyweight division, where he lost to Dominic Reyes, who we just talked about. Since coming down to the middleweight division, he's been very durable. He's a solid dude. And Imavov is a type of fighter that likes to style with his kickboxing and has no problem going to a decision as he kind of outpoints you and he's up ahead of you going to the judges' scorecards. I like Nasruddin Imavov to be just a little bit more tricky with his striking, a little bit more well-rounded. He's a very polished kickboxer. I think Nasruddin Imavov wins a decision. I like Imavov on the money line. This line's basically pick 'em odds, and if you want to press it and you want to take Imavov via decision and get some more juice there, no problem with that either.
Okay. So Imavov money line, Imavov decision. Bill, what are your thoughts?
I'm on Cannonier, so I'm on the opposite side.
Yo,
Here we
you guys
go.
have 3 disagreements today. This is going to be interesting.
This will be fun.
I like Cannonier has more power. He has better cardio. He's been five rounds a lot. Like he beat Strickland in a split decision, very close, but he kept the pace. Kept the pace with Strickland, and then in his last win against Vittori, he landed 203 significant strikes over 5 rounds. In Imavov's 2 5-round fights, he lost to Strickland and slowed down badly, and he beat Roman Dolidze in his last fight, but in the same thing, rounds 4 and 5, he was slowing down. It's just, he was a better striker than Dolidze, so it didn't matter then. But I could see. I lean Cannonier by decision, but I also took some chances on round 4 and round 5 because if Imavov really does get tired, Cannonier can pour it on, and he's got the power to finish him.
All right, so we got another disagreement. That's 3, which is going to make tonight fun. And by the way, our viewers split as hell. 51% Cannonier, 49% Imavov. So everyone split down the middle. I saw UCapper in the comments. He likes Imavov. So yeah, split down the middle in this one. Someone asked for some Belmont picks. Bro, DM me, tag me a horse racing guy. I'll bring him on for you. How about that? I don't know anybody. So
Like Francesa.
Well, I've been on for a while now, so we're going to skip the community parlay. The Mets game is starting. Clear the picks out so they can see these guys' Twitter handles. Please, Prop Beaver. These guys, we appreciate these guys coming on. I think we should be able to do this every Saturday, and Bill's connection is getting better every week. So we're getting the UFC graphics shored up, and yeah, we should be able to do this every Saturday because I have it set up where it should be pretty easy for me to produce and with Prop Beaver. So yeah, make sure you give these guys a follow. I have him tagged on Twitter. I actually typed his name wrong, but I corrected it in the comments. Also tagged MMA Teller's really active on Instagram as well. So if you have that, make sure you give him a follow. Let's have a good Saturday night, guys. Everyone enjoy their weekend. Talk to you later.